A Utah powerhouse, 17-time state champion, but the gym in Rich has room for an 18th banner.
Dug up by the Eagles. Lyman sets it up for Hansen. Blocked. Touched over. They're going to call it a double hit.
A school with a long tradition and legacy. A tradition and legacy of excellence, success, and, of course, championships.
Walker with the service. Stacy receives. Good pass. Cornea doesn't have to move. Wallenstein's hit. Deflected to the floor. It dropped into the donut hole. Bryce Hansen.
Rebel Volleyball is brought to you by Evanston Regional Hospital, Hoover Chiropractic, Cash Honda Yamaha in Cache Valley, the Come On in Casper, Plains Tire, the Best Western Dunmar Inn and Legal Tender, Freeway Tire, Auto Farm Chevrolet, Bear Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau.
A quick back set to Staple. Back corner. Kendall finds the spot.
This is Rich Rebel Volleyball. Rebel fans, get comfortable, strap it down, and enjoy another broadcast of Rich Volleyball. We head down to the court to join the voice of the Rich Rebels, Matthew Peterson.
Welcome back to Richfield, Utah for Game 2 of the tournament today, and we're getting ready to get started as it is going to be Brittany Lamborn to begin things off for the Rebels, and we are underway here in game number 2 as the first point will go to the Grantsville Cowboys. That's who the opponent is in our second game of the day. The Rebels took down the Penguin Bobcats in the first game 3-1, and now they have a duel with the Cowboys or Cowgirls, however you'd like to call them, and back to begin the serving for Grantsville is number 10, Hillary Cloward. Hillary Cloward, a senior, and her side up 1-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Let's update that for you as she serves right down the middle to Sage Tingy. And a shot from the Rebels is too deep. It's a point for the Grantsville Cowboys again, and they have raced out to a 2-0 start here in our second match of the day. Back to serve once again is Cloward. It goes deep to Stacy. She has it passed over to her, and she knocks it across near the net. And it just punched across violently and through the defense there by Haley Bartley, or Hale Bartley, I should say. Happy to have you along for another Rebel volleyball match, wherever you're joining us, as they now trail 3-0 against Grantsville. Service goes over to Stacy. She passes to Cornea, who passes to Peart. Hits hard, deflected. Grantsville keeps it going near the net, and that's where Cornea smashes it down. And Grantsville tries to keep it going, but unable to there in a diving effort by Rayleigh Gills. And the Rebels are on the Station on Main scoreboard now. It's 3-1. Cowboys over the Rebels here in our Auto Farm Chevrolet first set. Service by Peart goes to Gills, and they're unable to return it, so it's a Crawford Trough service ace for the junior. And that's her first today, or first of this match. Peart serves to Gills, and once again she has difficulty with it. Goes off her arm, and the Rebels have even the score now at 3 apiece. Back-to-back service aces for Annie. And we're all knotted up at 3 apiece on the Station on Main scoreboard. Here's Annie, the strong serve, but too low, goes into the net. And Grantsville takes the lead. It's 4-3 Cowboys. Back to serve is Hale Bartley, a senior. Bartley, a strong serve down the line, and misplaying it is Brittany Lamborn. Goes off her arms into the next court to give the point to the Cowboys. They lead 5-3 now in our first set. Here's the serve from Bartley, goes to Lamborn, this time better received. Cornea sets up for Huffaker, who hits hard, and right through the defense, Huffaker picks up a Bear Lake Realty kill, It's now 5-4. Cowboys, Rebels down by 1, and it's J.C. Cornea, a senior, back to serve for Rich. Cornea serves through the middle of the defense, goes to Bartley, set back. Defense for the Rebels prepared to knock it across as Stacy does just that. Bartley, they poor pass to her teammate, and it's out of play for a Rebels point, and now we're all even at 5 apiece. We appreciate you watching on My Local Radio or listening on KADQ as Cornea serves. Hit by Grantsville, too deep. No one touches it from Rich, and it's a point for the Rebels, who are on top now for the first time in this first set. 6-5 Rich. J.C. Cornea getting ready to serve as she bounces the ball a couple times. Cornea serves, goes to Bartley. And a deep hit there by Martin is too deep, and the Rebels take the point. They're up 7-5 now after falling back. The first 3 points, they've gone on a 7-2 run. Service from Cornea as the Cowboys hitting it over, and Cornea passes to Tingy, too close to the net though, and she can't handle it. Grantsville picks up the point to come within 1. It's now 7-6 Rich on the station on main scoreboard early on here in our first set. From Richfield, Utah in the north in the Sevier Valley Center. Here's the serve from Maddie Martin. Cornea setting for Stacy, hits hard, and wow, can she plummet the ball right down. 8-6 now Rebels after a Bear Lake Realty kill for McKenna Stacy. Here's the serve from Stacy. Goes off the arms of Giles high up, and it's played near the net and trickles over, and a lucky break there for Grantsville as it hit the net and just plopped itself down right in the middle of that Rebel defense. So 8-7 now our score. Rebels ahead. Rich, a 1A school, playing up against a 3A competitor, so a little more to chew off today than they usually do, but they're hanging with the bigger school right now. They're up by 1. It's 8-7, and the official having a word with his scorekeeper, and we're ready to get things started here. Here's the service from Grantsville by Kylie Broadhead. Lamborn swings, goes to Giles. Tracked down here by Cloward. And Grantsville hits it too deep once again. The Rebels with heads-up play, letting it go out the back end for a point. Now it is 9-7 Rich on the station on main scoreboard. Here's Mackenzie Smith now to serve. Smith, a junior, had a strong showing in the first game. Bounces the ball. We're ready to go with a 9-7 advantage. Her serve is deep down the far side to Bartley. Grantsville hits across. Tingy the quick dump set over, trying to catch the defense sleeping. Grantsville marches up their attack. They hit it over to Stacy, the back line. Cornea sets here. It's hit hard by Pierre. It's deflected, and it hits the Cowboy end of the court for a Rebel point. It's now 10-7 Rich. Rebels up by 3 on the station on main scoreboard in the Auto Farm Chevrolet first set. Here's the service from Smith. It's poked barely across, but actually hits the net, and Grantsville digs it out. Now the Rebels have it. And a whistle is blown, and too many hits for, I thought. Yep, that's how many I counted. So 11-7 Rebels advantage. A T7 propane timeout is called, and we'll take a timeout of our own. Rich on top over the Grantsville Cowboys here in game number 2.
America keeps moving, and Auto Farm Chevrolet is here to help you keep rolling. Whether you need a brand new vehicle or service on one you already own, Auto Farm Chevrolet is here to lend a helping hand. Our certified mechanics are knowledgeable, and our sales team takes the time to get to know you and what your needs are. Stop in today. Auto Farm Chevrolet, 624 Front Street, Evanston. Evanston's community-driven dealer.
Welcome back to Richfield here at the Sevier Valley Center for Game 2 of 5 of the tournament. The Rebels took down the Penguins Bobcats back in Game 1 a few hours ago, and we're now ready to continue our second game today. as the Rebels have an 11-7 lead in our first set. And it's Smith back to serve for Rich. Her service goes down the middle to Brantley, played near the net, and it's poked across. Now here's Lamborn passing to Cornea, who sets up Peart, hits hard, but tracked down by a Cowgirl, and now Grantsville trying to find a hole in the defense, goes to Lamborn. She hits it right back across. Brittany passes over to Cornea, who sets it right back to Lamborn. Smith setting up after the block. It stays on the Rebel end, and played near the net, and Grantsville unable to fish it out of the corner. It's a Rebel point, and Rich pushes their lead up to 5. It's 12-7 Rebels. 12-7 Rich, and here's Smith to continue serving. Goes to Brantley. She plays it near the net, and Brantley herself takes it and punches it right into the netting for a Rebel point, and it's now a 13-7 score on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels on top. Smith serves cross court, poorly handled there, and it's a Crawford Trough service ace for Mackenzie Smith. Went off the arms of Kylie Broadhead. Smith now serves to Broadhead, and now it's pushed back to the Rebel end. Set up for Lamborn, hits hard, it's blocked, but pushed right back over by Smith. Here come the Cowboys. They hit it over to Smith. Tracked down by Lamborn, who hits it across. It's near the net. Whistle is blown, and they're going to say a Rebel went over the line. So the bleeding ends for Grantsville. It's now 14-8, Rich on top. Back to serve and coming into the game for the first time, or coming to the game now, is Maylee Bartley. Bartley's serve goes to Mackenzie Smith. Cornea sets up for the Rebels. Tingy hits, goes to Bartley, who sets up for another sister, Bartley, who hits it, goes right to Cornea, and she reacts quickly. And it's going to be a dump set there by Annie Peart, who gets in an epic recreation block, hits the Cowboy end of the floor for a Rebel point, and the score now reads 15-8 Rebels here in our Auto Farm Chevrolet first set. Taylor McKee comes in to serve now for the Rebels. McKee is served right down Broadway, down the middle. Setting it up and punching it across was Brantley to the Rebel end. A whistle is blown, and they're going to call a double hit, I believe. No, a timeout is called afterwards, so it's 16-8. The Rebels take the point, and another T7 propane timeout is called by Grantsville. We'll step aside. Rebels lead by 8 here in the first set.
You're invited to come in and visit with the team at Cash Honda Yamaha in Cache Valley today. Our customers are our friends. If you haven't ever been in, stop in today. We'd love to get to know you. If you haven't been in for a while, stop in and let's get caught up. And if you were here yesterday, come back again soon. You always have an open invitation to visit the crew at Cash Honda Yamaha, where our customers are our friends, on US 91 between Logan and Smithfield.
Rebels over the Grantsville Cowboys early on in the first set. Rich leads 16-8. It's Taylor McKee to continue serving for the Rebels. McKee eyes up her serve, and it goes right down the middle to Giles, set near the net and punching it to the back line, but too hard there was Emily Ware, and it's a Rebels point, who got off to a slow start, but they are in cruise control now. It's 17-8 Rich as a serve from McKee, and a return by the Cowboys has two Rebels going for it and then out of play. So a point for Grantsville to come a little closer. It's 17-9 on the Station on Main scoreboard now, and here comes a serve from Ware. Ware with a strong serve, too strong, out of play, service error, and a Rebels point. 18-9 now. Back to serve is Brittany Lamborn for Rich. Lamborn waiting the whistle from the official. Bounces the ball a couple times, and we're good to go. A short serve from Lamborn goes into the net for a Grantsville point. It's 18-10. Rich leading by 8 in the Auto Farm Chevrolet first set. Here comes the serve from Cloward. Hillary Cloward hits it right to Mackenzie Smith, who gets low to deal with it. Cornea sets up for Stacy, who has her hit block in return, and then she bumps it across, but out of play. And it's a Cowboy point, 18-11 now. Rebels up by 7. Here's Cloward to continue serving for Grantsville. Goes to Smith, a diving effort. Cornea tries to save it out of the net, and then Stacy digs it, but they're going to call a double hit on Cornea. And 2 good serves from Grantsville has put them within 6. It's now 18-12. Hillary Cloward beating the ball down a couple times. Run, jump, hit. Goes to Mackenzie Smith. Cornea sets for Stacy. She hits the back corner. Brantley's waiting for it. And then another hit by the Cowboys. Go through a couple Rebel fingers. Not of play for a Grantsville point. It's now 18-13. Team in blue on top. And if you're listening on the radio, that's the Rich Rebels. Here's Hillary Cloward to serve. Goes to Smith. Cornea sets. Stacy winds up and hits the back line. Too far. It's now a 4-point game after that Cowboy point. 18-14. Rebels lead, but it's getting closer. At one point they led by 10. Cloward, another serve, and this serve has no mustard on it. A very short serve and a Rebel point after the error. It's a 19-14 scoreboard now, courtesy of the station on Main. Here in the first set, and junior Annie Peart ready to restart it with the serve. Cross-court serve goes to Giles, set by Cloward. Hitting in the far corner and digging out, though, is McKee, but hits the flooring anyway for a Cowboy point, and we're back to a 4-point margin. It's 19-15 Rebels leading the Grantsville Cowboys. Ready to serve here is Hale Bartley, a senior. Bartley serves over to Lamborn. Cornea sets. Huffaker slaps. Goes to Giles deep in the middle. And the Cowboys play it over to Bartley. Cornea now setting here for Stacy. Has it initially tipped at the netting, and a double hit is awarded, so a point for Grantsville. It's now a 3-point margin. 19-16 Rebels on the station on Main scoreboard. Hale Bartley ready to serve again for Grantsville. Down the line to Lamborn, who gets low to deal with it. Passes to Peart, and it's knocked across then by Stacy. Bartley sets up a teammate in the far corner. Dug up by the Rebels. And now Huffaker knocks it across to Giles in the middle. It's going to be poked between the two sides, and the Rebels have it on their end at the moment, but not before Stacy passes it over. By the 10-foot line, a set and a hit, and partially tipping a big dig there, but it goes out of play after Brittany Lamborn got a hand to it. And we're back to close to the beginning of the game. It's 19-17 Rebels by 2. They have now nearly blown that 10-point lead they had earlier on. Hale Bartley serves, goes to McKee in the middle. Cornea sets on the far side for Stacy, who has her shot blocked. And it's now a 1-point game, 19-18. Rebels lead, but by very thin margins here. Bartley, number 23, serves over to Peart. Sets up for Stacy. She just trying to parachute it in between the defensive return. And now Cornea sets for Huffaker, who hits a little more power to it. Dug up, a whistle is blown. And a point is going to be given to the Rebels. I think they're going to call 4 hits maybe on Grantsville. Nevertheless, a Rebel point, and we're back to a 2-point margin. 20-18 on the station on Main scoreboard here in the Auto Farm Chevrolet first set. Cornea serves to Bartley. And Grantsville pokes it across, but a patiently waiting McKenna Stacy slaps it down for a block and a Rebel point. 21-18 Rebels. They lead by 3. Cornea serves cross court to Bartley. She gets low to deal with it. It's somehow corralled and then poked across where McKenna Stacy hits it, but too deep. A point for Grantsville, who now is back within 2. 21-19. 21-19, and back to serve for Grantsville is Maddie Martin, a senior. The senior hits it to Annie Peart, who passes to Cornea, sets up for Huffaker. She hits hard, and it's a Bear Lake Realty kill for Dixie Huffaker. 22-19 Rebels. here in the first set. They won the first match 3-1. They look to continue that again here. Service goes to Giles for Grantsville. They're setting it up, and they're going to poke it across to Andy Peart. Cornea sets for the Rebels. Lamborn hits, but goes into the netting. And so it's a point for the Cowboys, 22-20. Rebels lead by 2. Back to serve for Grantsville is Kylie Broadhead, a junior. Broadhead serves. A slow serve, barely gets across the net. Lamborn dove for a service ace, as she couldn't pick it up enough, and it's a 1-point game now. 22-21 Rebels late here in the first set. Broadhead ready to serve. Another slow serve. It goes to Lamborn. Cornea sets for Lamborn, who does a dump set, trying to catch the defense sleeping. And the Cowboys poke it back across. The Rebels have it, and they send it right back over. Tingy bumps, a whistle's blown, and a point will be awarded to the Rebels. I'm not sure why. It was in the middle of play, and Grantsville's equally confused. But the Rebels have their 23rd point of the first set. They lead by 2. 23-21. Here's Mackenzie Smith to serve for Rich. Her Smith goes to the libero Giles. She plays it near the net, sets up for Bartley, who bumps it over. Cornea now setting here for Peart, who has her hit block. And it's a point for the Cowboys to bring it within a 1-point margin again. 23-22, a close one in game number 1, of set number 1 of game number 2. Coming in to serve is Maylee Bartley. Maylee Bartley serves to Lamborn. Cornea setting for Rich. Hitting and swinging is Lamborn. It's blocked but goes out of play for a Rebel point, and it's now set point for Rich. 24-22. Back to serve is Taylor McKee for the Rebels with set point on the line. McKee serves, goes to Bartley. She passes it near the net, and it's passed right back to her, and she swings down with authority for a point. And we're back to a 1-point game. 24-23. Get your popcorn ready. It's a close one here. Back to serve for Grantsville is Emily Ware. Ware serves to McKenna Stacy. Cornea sets. Lamborn strikes, goes to Bartley. She passes near the net. It's having passed right back to her. Partially tipped, dug up there by McKee. And now it's Peart hitting to the back line. One hand gets to it by Ware, and the Cowboys move it around. And then on the third hit to the middle of the defense of the Rebels. Cornea sets. Lamborn strikes with a little finesse to it. Couple Cowboys diving for it. They get it across. Cornea setting on a bit of a rally going. Annie Peart hits, and she finds a hole in the defense for a kill and a set point. Rebels take the first set 25-23, a close one. At one point they led by 10, but they're able to hold on to the lead and pick up a set 1 victory over the Grantsville Cowboys. We'll move into set number 2, but that wraps up our Auto Farm Chevrolet first set. When we return, it's set number 2 between the Rebels and the Cowboys from Richfield.
2 roads diverged in a wood, and I had just purchased new tires at Plains Tire in Evanston. The trained tire technicians at Plains Tire expertly mounted, balanced, and aligned my new tires, so I was feeling good. While I was there, they changed my oil, checked my brakes, fixed my AC, and made sure my shocks were in tip-top shape. And with their lifetime alignment checks and tire rotations, I was ready to roll. So, thanks to Plains Tire, when 2 roads diverged in a wood, I took the one less traveled. Plains Tire, 157 Bear River Drive, Evanston.
Nothing makes your kid feel like a superstar more than seeing his or her very own Fathead in the stands. Fathead car decals and yard signs are inexpensive and easy to get at Rocky Mountain Sign in Evanston. Whether it's for the big game or to cheer on the high school band, our children make us proud in so many ways. Show your pride today. Go Rebels! West Star Printing and Rocky Mountain Sign, 243 7th Street, Evanston.
Welcome back to Richfield, Utah for our second match of the day for the Rebels between the Cowboys and Rich. Rich won the first set 25-23. They went down 3-0. That's the third time today they've gotten off to a slow start, but they have been able to turn on the gas. And at one point, they led by 10. It was 18. Oh, no. At one point, they led by 9. 18-9 was the largest margin for the Rebels, and Grantsville cut into it, and ultimately it was the Rebels prevailing to win 25-23. Let's get ready. We'll reset our score and give the Rebels a 1 in the set column. They lead 1-0. Rebels against the Grantsville Cowboys of 3A. Grantsville this season entering with 9 wins. They are coming off a 3-2 win in the first game of the tournament earlier this afternoon. They won 3-2 over San Juan. Both sides winning their first match, and only one will remain unbeaten tonight. Let's find out who. Back to serve for Grantsville is number 10, Hillary Cloward. Her serve is a service ace. Rebel defense thought it might go out of play, and it's an early lead here for the Cowboys, 1-0. 1-0 Cowboys. Cloward to serve again. Her serve goes to Sage Tingy, a senior. Another senior. Cornea sets for Annie Peart. Quick reactions by Grantsville, pokes it right back across. And then it's a dump over by Brantley. Grantsville sets it up on the far side. They hit it to Stacy in the back line. Cornea setting, Lamborn swinging. It's dug up by Giles. Brantley sets up in the near side for her sister. And the Cowboys poke it right back across. The Rebels and the Cowboys in a bit of a rally. It's a dump set over by Lamborn, and then Grantsville pokes to the back line, but it's too far and too wide. It's a point for the Rebels. We're all even at 1 apiece on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels won the first set. And now Brittany Lamborn, the junior, serves to the libero Giles. Set up by Brantley, and she finesses it down the line, catches a piece of that paint for a Cowboy point, and it's now 2-1. Grantsville. They are in red uniforms with black bottoms. Grantsville serves, goes to Tingy, who goes down to her knees, and then Cornea is just going to bat it across. Set up by Coward, and it's not going to go over the net, though. It's a point for Rich on a miss hit by Hillary Cloward, and now it's 2-all. 2-2, and Annie Peart will serve. Waits the okay from the official. And Annie run, jump, hit. Goes to Giles on a low serve. She's able to dig it out, though, and it's hit behind the 10-foot line to the Rebel end. Cornea setting now. Stacy hitting hard, and it's going to be a Bear Lake Realty kill for McKenna Stacy. 3-2 Rebels. After Stacy's kill. And here's the second service from Pure. Cross-court serve goes to Brantley. Played near the net. Dug up and goes out of play. And diving into the scorer's table there. Making a valiant effort. Let's try and figure out a number here. Yep, it was someone wearing number 13, Dana Craner. So it's a 4-2 lead for the Rebels. Service from Pierre gets across, and on the third hit, it's Brantley striking down. Tingy digs it up, though. And then Stacy gets another kill. After the set from J.C. Cornea, the Rebels lead 5-2. I apologize if I'm a little slow on numbers. Grantsville has nearly 2 numbers next to every single player's name, so it can make life a little difficult. But Giles receives the serve from Peart, and it's played near the net and poked across to the Rebel end. Cornea sets up for Huffaker, who hits. Cloward gets to it initially, and it's played near the net, and that's where it's going to be punched across by Brantley. Brantley passes near the net for herself to be set up. No, it goes the other end, and pushing the ball down for a Cowboy point was Kaylee Broadhead, and it's now 5-3 Rebels. Rich. Service goes from Grantsville to McKenna Stacy. Cornea sets for Stacy. She has her hit initially blocked. Now Tingy sets for Stacy again. This time it's tipped, and it's dug up on the Cowboy end. They return it across. Tickles over the net, and it's a point for the Cowboys. They come within 1. It's now 5-4. Here we go. 5-4 Rebels on top on the Station on Main scoreboard. Service goes deep by Martin. Rebels are able to get to it, and it's knocked across by Stacy. Grantsville marching attack. They run into an Epic Recreation block, and it's a point for Rich. 6-4 now, Rebels. Rich won the first set 25-23. And they have a 2-point lead here in the second. Here's JC Cornea now to serve. JC serves right down the middle. It's initially played by Castellano, and it's going to go out of play after a hit from Grantsville for a Rebel point. So 7-4 Rebels. Service comes over from Cornea, and Grantsville finds a piece of that back line on their attack for a point. It's now 7-5. Rich leading by 2 on the Station on Main scoreboard, up 1-0. Broadhead hits on the serve. Cornea now setting on the return. Huffaker runs into a wall, and it's a block for Grantsville. They get the point, 7-6. Rebels lead by 1. Kylie Broadhead, a junior, ready to serve. Run, jump, hit down the middle, goes to Lamborn. She receives it. Cornea sets for Stacy on the far side, partially tipped up, dug up by Giles. And here come the Cowboys. They go cross court on a little dump set. Stacy hits after the set. It's returned immediately. Pass by Peart goes to Cornea, and Stacy hits again. This time it's blocked. It goes to the net. It's a point on 4 hits for the Rebels. So we're all even at 7-all now on the Station on Main scoreboard. 7-7. Broadhead run, jump, serve. And unable to get to it was Brittany Lamborn, a service ace. And now it's 7-8. Grantsville, they lead by 1. Broadhead bouncing the ball a couple times. She's good to go now. Run, jump, and serve. Goes to Lamborn. This time she's able to handle it. Cornea setting for Stacy, who smashes. No, actually, she goes a little bit of finesse to it. Set up near the net, and Grantsville pokes it across. They're going to call double hit, though, on the Cowboys for a Rebel point. So we're all tied up again, 8-all, 8-all. Here's the serve from McKenna Stacy. Goes to Giles, the libero. She passes near the net, and that's where Broadhead will hit. Stacy is on the receiving end. Cornea passes to Stacy, who hits it into the net for a Grantsville point, and we're back to a 1-point game. This time it's Grantsville leading. 9-8. Rebels lead 1-0. Here's Maylou Brantley. Goes to Annie Peart. She has her pass go too close to the net for Brittany Lamborn to track down. It's now a 2-point lead. This is the largest margin that Grantsville's had over the Rebels in the second set, 10-8. Brantley once again ready to serve. Her serve goes to Annie Peart, who has it pass out of bounds and tracked down by Stacy, and the Rebels hit it over on the third hit. Set up for Brantley on the near side. She smashes into the net, though, for a Rebel point. It is now 10-9 Grantsville. Rebels down 1, and Dixie Huffaker grabs a seat for Mackenzie Smith, who's now in rotation to serve. Smith serves down the middle, goes to Brantley. Set there by Cloward. It's partially tipped at the net and then hits the Rebels' end for a kill by the Cowboys. They have a 2-point lead again, 11-9. On the Station on Main scoreboard, Rebels lead 1-0. Emily Ware, a sophomore, serves. Goes to Stacy. She passes to Cornea, who sets up for Lamborn. Received by Brantley. He had to set up for his sister, and it's blocked and returned. And we'll try it again for Grantsville. This time it's Stacy digging it up at the back line. Cornea sets for Lamborn, who punches it across. Ball remains near the net on the Grantsville end. Brantley hits hard, but it's out of play, too wide, and a Rebel point. They come within 1. It's 11-10 now. Grantsville over the Rebels. Taylor McKee ready to serve for Rich. McKee serves down the middle to Brantley. Passed up by Giles, and Brantley herself will poke it across. Corney on the second hit, sets it up for Annie Peart. Hits hard, goes to Broadhead. Cloward passes over to Brantley, who hits into the net for a Rebel point to tie us all up at 11. 11 all on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels lead 1-0. Here's McKee for her second serve. Goes to Brantley, awkwardly handled, and the Cowboys are able to dump it across. Cornea sets, though, for Lamborn, who swings, has it blocked partially, and then goes to Brantley in the back line. A diving, digging effort there by Mackenzie Smith keeps it alive, and the Cowboys have it now in the third hit. It's going to be poked across, and the Rebels dig it up again. Cornea sets, Lamborn swing, partially tipped out of play, and a Rebel point. They take the lead again, 12-11 Rich. Rebels lead by 1 on the Station on Main scoreboard. A ball from another court flies in to disrupt the service of Taylor McKee. We'll restart it, and here we go. Rebels lead by 1. McKee serves down the middle, and no one wanted to get it. I'm not sure what happened by Grantsville there. They all jumped away from the ball like it was lava, and it's a service ace for Taylor McKee. Rebels lead 13-11. McKee eyes up her serve, serves to Brantley. She passes near the net. It's set up and poked across by Martin. Rebels have Cornea set. Peart strikes, and it's going to go off an arm and out of play. And I must say, in the middle of service, a player from another court played the Rebels ball while her team was still on defense, and it went back on this end. It was quite impressive. But the Rebels lead 14-11. We'll step aside after a T7 propane timeout is called by Grantsville. When we return, it's a 3-point margin for the Rebels.
When you enter the city limits of the town of Woodruff, the sign welcomes you to a place with the coldest temps and the warmest hearts. Settled in 1870, we celebrate the values of kindness, compassion, and friendliness, knowing a community's greatness may best be measured by the compassionate actions of its members. Mayor Scott Sabian, council members Millie Bradshaw, Raymond Franson, Kent Stewart, and Jason Peterson, with Secretary Lisa Bell, welcome you and say,
Go Rich Rebels!
14-11 Rich in set number 2. They won the first set 25-23, and Taylor McKee is set to continue to serve for the Rebels, who are on a bit of a run right now, and it's a 5-point run for the Rich Rebels to give them a 3-point lead as McKee's serve barely trickles across the tape, and here come the Grantsville Cowboys. They knock it across. Cornea sets for Rich, though, and it's struck hard by Lamborn. Giles got a piece of it, but not enough of it, and it's a point for Rich. Their lead's up to 4. It's 15-11. 15-11 Rich with a 1-set lead. Here's McKee. Another dominant serve goes to Brantley in the middle. Giles passes, and behind the 10-foot line, Brantley hits. Cornea sets on the far side, and a dump set over by Lamborn. And a couple of Cowboys had a miscommunication as that ball just fell at the feet of 2 of them. And now it's a 5-point lead for Rich. They lead 16-11 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Here's the service from McKee. Goes to Giles. Tracked down and punched hard by Brantley, and it's going to go into the seating for a Cowboy point off the arms of Annie Peart. It's now 16-12. Rich leads by 4. They have a 1-set lead here in the second set. Hillary Cloward is scheduled to serve now for Grantsville. Run jump hit by Cloward goes to Smith. Cornea setting for Lamborn, who strikes but into a block that's deflected out of play. And it's a point for the Rebels, 17-12. They lead by 5 again. Brittany Lamborn, after getting the kill, will serve now. Her serve goes to Brantley. It's set up, and Brantley hits hard. Cross court, dug up by McKee. Cornea slaps it across. And now the Cowboys in the third hit have Brantley hit to the back line. That's where Smith is patiently waiting for it. Cornea sets up for Stacy. Her hit is deflected. No, they're going to argue it is, but it's going to be out of bounds, and it's a point for Grantsville. They're back within 4. It's 17-13. 17-13 Rebels on top here in the second set on the Station on Main scoreboard. Brantley serves, goes to McKee, poorly handled, and Cornea dives to get to it, and then it will eventually hit the floor after Andrew Peart made an effort. And now it's a 17-14 scoreboard. Rebels up by 3. Hale Brantley, a senior, serves. This time McKee much more comfortable with it. Cornea sets, and it's off balance, hit by Stacy, goes across. The Cowboys return it to the Rebel end. Cornea now setting again for Stacy. This time she hits hard, one arm to Brantley, and it's kept alive. It's stuck at the net. Both sides poking at it on the Rebel end now. Cornea sets. Peart hits hard into a block. Then Smith punches it in the air. Lamborn passes it over to Stacy, who has it tipped, and the Cowboys have it at their end. It's dump set across by Grantsville. Cornea sets on the far side, and it's Stacy hitting hard into a block for a Cowboy point. 17-15. Rebels lead by 2 after the Grantsville block. Hale Brantley for Grantsville, ready to serve. Her side trailing 1-0 and down by 2 in the second. Low serve received by Smith, and it's returned immediately but goes out of play, and it's now a 1-point game. 17-16, Rebels up by 1. Brantley, a senior. Or Bartley, a senior. Bartley hits it over, and it goes to Cornea. And Cornea passes, and then it's McKenna Stacy somehow finding a hole in the defense for a Bear Lake Realty kill. 18-16 Rebels. Here's Andy Peart now to serve for Rich. Leading by 2, a low serve goes to Giles. It's dug up near the net by Cloward and goes to the other court for a Rebel point. 19-16, Rebels pushing their advantage back to 3. Back and forth second set so far, but for the most part, it's been the Rebels on top. Grantsville has threatened a couple times as Peart serves. Trickles over the net, and it's a Crawford Trough service ace for Annie Peart to give her side a 4-point lead. 20-16 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Annie, for her next serve, will go cross court. Dug up by Cloward and set up near the net. A big strike goes off the fingertips of McKee, and it's now a point for Grantsville as that ball hit the floor. 20-17, Rebels up by 3. Hillary Cloward for Grantsville, ready to serve. Cloward with a run jump hit, goes to McKee in the middle. Cornea sets for Stacy on the far corner. Hits hard, but it's dug up, and the Rebels have to defend now. And that's Huffaker patiently waiting at the net, hitting hard into a block that's deflected to the Cowboy portion of the court, and the Rebels have a 21-17 advantage now. Here's Cornea serving, goes to Bartley. She passes, and that's a hard hit down the line by Broadhead, and too hard for Rebel to get to. It's a point for Grantsville. They're back within 3. 21-18, Rebels lead. They won the first set 25-23, and another close one here in set number 2. Here's the service from Broadhead, right down the middle to Lamborn. She passes it to Cornea, who sets up for Stacy. Has a little help from the net as it trickles over and throws the defense off guard. And the Rebels pick up the point on the kill from McKenna Stacy. 22-18, Rebels up by 4. Stacy, a strong serve, goes to Broadhead. She passes out of play, and it's going to be a fist over by Giles. Tingy sets up for Huffaker, who hits the back line. Broadhead there, dug up by Cloward near the net. Which side did it fall on? It fell on the Cowboy side. It's a Rebel point, 23-18. Rich is 2 points away from winning the side, so Cowboys call a timeout. We'll step aside. Rich up by 5 here in the second set, 23-18 on the Station on Main scoreboard.
The best live coverage of local sports, weather, local news, and radio classifieds. Plus job listings, fun giveaways, and more. It's all on mylocalradio.com. Watch live as your high school teams clash with their biggest rivals. Listen to the latest from your team's coaches, catch up on local and regional news, and get accurate weather conditions and forecasts. Visit mylocalradio.com, like us on Facebook, and stream it all now.
Rebels lead 23-18 over the Grantsville Cowboys here in set number 2 at our Richfield State Preview Tournament. Rebels won the first set 25-23, and they're also coming off a match win over Panguitch a few hours ago. Here's McKenna Stacy to restart the match. Her side needing 2 points to go up 2-0. Her serve down the middle to Giles, sets up a strong hit by the Cowboys, and that's a point thanks to Emily Ware after it deflects around a couple Rebels. It's now 23-19. Rich leading by 4. Back to serve is Maylee Bartley. Her serve goes to Stacy. Cornea passes over to Lamborn, who's just going to knock it across. Bartley hits hard into a Sage Tingey block that deflects out of bounds for a Cowboy point. 23-20. This game getting closer here down the wire. Bartley ready to serve. Her serve down the middle goes to Stacy. She passes to Cornea, who sets up for Lamborn. Hits hard, but too hard, out of play. And a point for Grantsville. They're within 2. 23-21. Rebels up. And Coach Lamborn now calls timeout. So another T7 Propane timeout is called. We will take one more timeout of our own here. When we return, we'll have the conclusion of this second set. Rebels lead 23-21. Don't go anywhere.
When you think about Bear Lake, think family, fun, fishing, beaches, boats, green, and great food. Think water, wildlife, trails, and shakes, snow, scenery, and sun. Think summer. Go to bearlake.org and plan your visit today. Visit Scenic Idaho.
Bartley serves into the net for a Rebel point. It's now set point for the Rich Rebels. They lead 24-21. Set point coming here off the arms of Mackenzie Smith serving. Her serve goes into the net. So a wash for the two sides, 24-22. Close one here in set number 2. Rebels won that first set 25-23. And now we have service from Ware. Her serve goes to Lamborn. Cornea sets for Rich. Lamborn hits hard. Picked up by Bartley and batted across to the Rebel end. Cornea setting. Peart hitting hard, and that's a Bear Lake Realty kill to win the second set. Annie Peart may have our McKay Franken precision play of the game. She had it in the first set. And she has a strong hit there to close out the second. 25-22, your final. After set number 2, the Rebels take the first 2 sets over the Grantsville Cowboys. We'll get ready for our third set, brought to you as always by the Rich County government. Rebels with a championship cause. When we return, it's 2-0 Rich over the Cowboys of Grantsville.
Whether you're kicking up dust in the hills, making waves down on the lake, or taking advantage of the world's greatest power, don't just hope to have fun. Take that sled by the handlebars and make your time at Bear Lake epic. Epic Recreation rents equipment and cabins for your vacation fun at beautiful Bear Lake. From watercraft large and small to UTVs, sleds, and more, Epic Recreation has it all to go on-road, off-road, or out on the Caribbean blue water. Book your adventure at epicrecreation.net.
If the idea of owning your own home in beautiful Bear Lake sounds like more than your finances can handle, visit the experts at Bear Lake Realty to learn how you can make it happen. Gary and Amber McKee at Bear Lake Realty can show you how to buy a home and rent it out, so it pays for itself while you enjoy it some of the time as well. And soon, you'll have your own place in the Caribbean of the Rockies. No one knows the market better, and no one else serves you better than Bear Lake Realty.
As one of the region's most visited websites, MyLocalRadio.com is here to serve you. Catch up on local and regional news and information. Buy, sell, or trade your good used items on the radio classifieds. Check the weather forecast or catch our live coverage of your high school teams in action, all on MyLocalRadio.com. Like us on Facebook so you never miss a giveaway, and visit MyLocalRadio.com today to stream it all live.
Welcome back to the state preview tournament. Rebels lead the Grantsville Cowboys 2-0. They've won the first 2 sets 25-23 and then 25-22. Remember to join us tomorrow morning. That's right, 8 a.m. early start. Get the bacon on the skillet, and we'll have some good volleyball for you. It's an 8 a.m. start for the Rebels. They'll open things up with a game against North Sevier, and then 11 a.m. is game number 2 against Enterprise. After that, based on the seeding of these 4 pool play games, we'll have a playoff match at either 3 or 4:30, depending on if the Rebels are one of the top 8 teams. If they are one of the top 8 teams, which a win today, or win right now against Grantsville, well, I don't want to say lock that up, but it would make it very likely. That will be a 4:30 p.m. start. So I don't want to jinx anything, but it's leaning towards a 4:30 start, as there's some confusion on the Grantsville side right now, and I think it might be stemming from the fact that on their roster, about half the players have 2 jersey numbers listed next to it. I'm assuming it's a home and away jersey, so it can be a little confusing, and that's why I'm going to speculate that the conversation has been about. But the Rebels won those first 2 sets. They look to close things out, get some dinner, and go to bed before an early start tomorrow morning. Rich defeated their nemesis Panguitch in the first match of the afternoon. They won 3-1. Won sets 1, 3, and 4. Now here we go. Here's Brittany Lamborn to serve for the Rebels. Her serve goes cross-court to Giles. A whistle was never blown, so I don't think that should have been happening. Yeah, the referees were not ready for it, so now we'll start things off. Rebels here in our Rich County Government third set, a Bear Lake Town & Country Realty beginning serve. And it's received, and a whistle is blown, and a double hit, I believe, or double hit, I believe, on the Rebels. Give Grantsville the point. That's the 3rd straight set they've opened up with the point. Rich down 1-0 on the Station on Main scoreboard. We had our Town & Country Realty beginning serve, thanks to Pam Cornea. Here's the service by Maddie Martin. Rebels dig it up, and they have a hard hit by Annie Peart. She's on fire today. Another kill for Annie. It's 1-1. Dixie Huffaker now checks in for Mackenzie Smith. Back to serve is Annie Peart, who just got that kill. Peart serves into the net. So she cools off a little bit, and it's another small lead for the Cowboys. 2-1 Grantsville over the Rich Rebels here in our Rich County Government third set. Rich leads 2-0. Service by Bartley. Rebels dig it up, and they get over to Cornea. She hits into the net for a Cowboy point. 3-1. Rebels down early here in the third set. Back to serve is Maylee Bartley. Her serve goes to Lamborn. Cornea sets. Huffaker hits for Rich, partially tipped. Giles digs it out, and it's going to be knocked into the opposing court, and it's a point for the Rebels. 3-2. This tournament's been a lot of fun so far, but we've seen a lot of balls not stick to their court. Here's service from J.C. Cornea for the Rebels, and it's a service ace. As Hale Bartley thought it would be out of play, finds that line, and it's a 3-3 score now after a Crawford Trough service ace by J.C. Cornea. Cornea serves, Bartley gets low to deal with it, and from the 10-foot line, it's knocked across to the Rebel end. Cornea has it passed over, and Stacy knocks it across. Here come the Cowboys. Bartley hits, partially blocked at the net, and a dump set by J.C. And the Cowboys head to the back line, and no one's there. Brittany Lamborn hustled to get to it, but unable to. And it's a Cowboy point, 4-3. Rebels down 1 early here in the Rich County Government third set, leading 2-0. Service by Broadhead goes to Lamborn. Cornea sets. Stacy hits. It's ping-ponged around, but hits the Cowboy portion of the floor for a Rebel point. 4-4 Rebels and Cowboys. Back to serve is McKenna Stacy. Her serve goes to Giles. Has it slipped through her fingers on the missed set attempt. And the Rebels are on top for the first time in the third set. They lead 5-4 now. 5-4 Rich. Here's Stacy with a run jump hit. Bartley misplays it, goes into the netting, and a back-to-back service ace for McKenna Stacy. 6-4 Rich. Stacy serves. No one wanted to touch it because it went out of play. Heads up play by the Cowboys. They're within one now. 6-5 Rebels over Grantsville. To serve for the Cowboys is Hillary Cloward. Cloward, a senior. And trailing 1 and 2 sets to none right now. Cloward serves, barely gets over the net. A diving effort there by Annie Peart. No, by McKenna Stacy. But it's a service ace for Cloward to tie the score at 6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Here's Cloward. Her serve this time gets across the net with ease. Cornea setting. Hitting was Lamborn. 2 Cowboys went for it. Neither of them got a real good piece of it. It hits the floor for a Bear Lake Realty kill by Brittany Lamborn. 7-6 Rebels. Huffaker checks out for Smith. And Smith serves down the middle to Giles. Sets up for Bartley. Hits too low into the net. The Rebels push their advantage back to 2. It's 8-6 Rich on the Station on Main scoreboard. Here's Mackenzie Smith to serve for Rich. Second in a row. Cross court to Bartley. Sets up on the near side. Poked across. A Rebel got her hand to it. It was Annie Peart, but it hits the floor for a Grantsville point. It's now 8-7, a close one here in the third set. Rich leads 2 sets to none. Hale Bartley, a senior, ready to serve for Grantsville. Bartley serves, goes right to Smith, who immediately returns it, and then Bartley's sister plummets the ball right down as it was teed up for her, and it's now 8-8. Grantsville ready to serve again after the kill, and now Bartley hits, goes to Smith. She passes to Peart, and it's played over by Stacy. Bartley runs to the ball. It's near the net. The Rebels poke it back across. Punched up in the air by Lamborn. A double hit, though. It's a point for the Cowboys, who take the lead. It's 9-8 Grantsville. Hale Bartley continuing to serve here as she bounces the ball a couple times. And her serve goes to Smith. Much better handle there. Cornea sets, dumps that over by Tingy, and a diving dig by Bartley keeps it alive, and then it's punched down hard by who else but Annie Peart today to tie the score at 9. 9-all on the Station on Main scoreboard. Rebels lead 2 sets to none. Service now by McKee. Goes to Bartley. Setting up in the middle and hitting hard is Ware. That's punched in the air then by McKee. And Stacy behind the 10-foot line plays it to the Cowboy end. Bartley on the near side hits hard, hits a couple Rebels, hits the floor for a Grantsville point. 10-9, the team in red. Checking into the game now for Grantsville is Broadhead. Grantsville set to serve. It's Emily Ware, a sophomore, received by Stacy. Cornea sets. Peart hits hard into a 3-person wall. And now it's Annie Peart hitting again over at the other end. Grantsville setting it up. They knock it across. McKee digs and dives for it. And then it's Lamborn using a little bit of finesse to just parachute that ball over a one-man wall. It's 10-all here after the kill from Brittany Lamborn. And now it's her turn to serve. Lamborn serves cross court to Giles. She gets down to her knees to handle it. Cloward hits and passes to Brantley. The Rebels have it. Cornea sets up for Stacy with one arm on off balance. Hits it across. And then Bartley finds a hole in the defense. She sets it all the way back there for a Cowboy point. It's back to a Cowboy advantage. 11-10. Grantsville over the Rich Rebels here in the third set. Rebels lead 2 sets to none. Maddie Martin, another senior, ready to serve for Grantsville. Martin serves, goes to Smith. Cornea setting. Peart hitting into the net for a Grantsville point. 12-10, Rebels trail by 2. We wait another serve now from Martin. Martin's serve goes into the net for a Rebel point on the service error. 12-11, Rebels within 1. Annie Peart back to serve for Rich as Smith checks out for Huffaker. Peart serves cross court to Bartley. Pass up to Cloward, who dump sets it over, and the Rebels weren't ready for it. It's a point for Grantsville. Their lead's back to 2. It's 13-11. Both sides have led at some point in this third set. Bartley serves, goes to McKee, handles it at her knees, passes over to Stacy, and then it's just knocked across by Lamborn. Bartley does the same, hits harder though, and it's received by Peart. Now it's Cornea setting, Huffaker using a little bit of a parachute method, and the Cowboys have it. They set it up, and they're going to knock it over. McKee passes over to Cornea, who sets up for Stacy, swings hard, but into the net for a Cowboy point. Their lead's up to 3. It's 14-11, Rebels trailing in our Rich County Government third set. Here's the service from Bartley. Trickles over the net, a service ace, as McKee wasn't ready for that readjustment. It's now a 4-point margin, 15-11 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Grantsville over the Rebels, so Coach Lamborn calls a T7 propane timeout. When we return, it's a 15-11 lead for the Grantsville Cowboys here in our third set. Rebels lead 2-0.
This presentation of Rich High School Athletics on MyLocalRadio.com is brought to you by these Rebel Sports Boosters, LSR Refrigerated, and the Walletines in Garden City. Darren, Tricia, and the entire Walletine clan wish the Rebels good luck. And by Cat Answer Technical Services, proudly supporting the Rich Rebels. The staff at Cat Answer Technical Services wish the Rebels good luck on the field, on the court, in the classroom, and in life.
Go Rich Rebels!
Rebels find themselves in a 4-point hole. They're down against the Grantsville Cowboys in the third set as Bartley serves to restart the match here, and we're off and running. It's 15-11. It's returned over to the Rebel end. Back and forth we go in a bit of a rally. Couple of Rebels diving for that. Then it's hit and blocked by Bartley on the Cornea potential kill, making it a 5-point margin. This hole continues to get a little deeper for the Rich Rebels. They're down 16-11. Maylee Bartley serves, and a whistle is blown. I'm unsure what the call is. It might be a legal rotation of some sorts. I'm not entirely sure, but 16-11 still on the scoreboard on the wall, so we'll keep it there. Bartley serves, goes to Lamborn. Now it's a point, though, for Grantville. And here we go, the continuation of this point, though. And it's Stacy hitting it across. Grantsville setting up for Bartley, and she finds a hole in the defense. Lamborn and McKee both diving for it. 18-11 now. Rebels trail. Maylee Bartley serves down the middle, goes to McKee. Cornea setting. Stacy hitting hard into a block, and it's a double hit for Grantsville, giving the Rebels a point, and a much-needed one, too. They were on the wrong end of a long streak there. Let me tally it up for you as 6+ points in a row for Grantsville. But the Rebels have the ball, and they're serving now. It's J.C. Cornea serves, goes to Bartley, sets up by Cloward. Hitting hard was Broadhead, and finds a piece of the corner for a Cowboy point to put their lead back to 7. It's 19-12. Rebels behind in the third set. They do lead 2-0, though. Here's Kylie Broadhead to serve now. Broadhead serves to Peart, passing it over near the net, and a miscommunication between Huffaker and Stacy. Neither of them went for it, and then both dove for it at the last minute, but it's too late. A service ace as a result. It's 20-12, Grantsville over the Rebels. And a stoppage here, a timeout, I think, maybe. Yep, I think another T7 propane timeout is called. When we return, the Rebels are down 8 here in the third set, brought to you by the Rich County government. But they do lead 2-0 over the Grantsville Cowboys.
When do you schedule doctor appointments?
In bed before I fall asleep.
In the car waiting to pick up my kids.
We can even do it after breakfast.
We all lead busy lives. Online appointment scheduling puts you in control. In just 90 seconds, you can make an appointment with a primary care provider or specialist at evanstonanytime.com. Select the day and time most convenient for you. Enter some basic information, and just like that, you're scheduled for care. Schedule appointments for next day and beyond at evanstonanytime.com.
Rebels down 20-12. They've led at some point in each of all 3 sets, including winning the first 2 sets, but now they're in quite the hole here. As a serve by Broadhead is out of play for a Rebels point, a much needed one too, and let's see if they can put together a rally here. They're down by 7, 20-13 in the third set. But they've got some breathing room winning those first 2 sets. Stacy serves, goes to Giles, and it's up for Bartley, who hits, partially tipped at the net. And then it's Cornelius setting it up for Lamborn. Here come the Cowboys. They respond, and they get the point courtesy of Hale Bartley. She's having quite the afternoon. It's 21-13. Rebels down by, or 21-13, yeah, down by 8. Back to serve is Maddie Martin. Service from Grantsville, gets over the net somehow, and then Cornelius sets up for Huffaker, and Huffaker picks up a kill after it goes off the fingers of a Grantsville Cowboy, and the Rebels back within 7. 21-14, Rich trailing in the third set. Mackenzie Smith in to serve. Here's the service from Smith. Goes to Bartley. Played around a little bit near the net, and it's punched across. A whistle is blown, and Hale Bartley got too close to that net. A point for the Rebels. 21-15, they're down 6. Smith to serve. Low serve and poorly received, but ultimately the Cowboys get it across. Now Cornelius sets up for Lamborn, who has her hit deflected out of bounds for a Rebel point. A kill for Brittany Lamborn. And it's now a 5-point game, 21-16, Rebels down. Rich won the first 2 sets by a combined total of 5. Now Smith serves, goes to Giles, setting it up and hitting to the back line, but out of play was Martin. And it's a point for Rich, who come within 4. They're making some moves. 21-17. Smith serves. Goes to Giles. She gets on her knees, and Grantsville plays around with it. Then they softly knock it across. Tingy sets up, and it's punched over by Peart. And the Cowboys dig it up, and 2 of them go for it and knock it over. Cornelius sets up, and that passes to Tingy. Peart hits hard, but too hard. Out of play. No deflection, so it's a 22-17 Station on Main scoreboard reading in favor of the Grantsville Cowboys. Hale Bartley to serve. Bartley serves, goes to Stacy. Cornelius setting. Lamborn swinging into a block that hits the Cowboy portion of the court for a Rebel point. They're back within 4, 22-18. Rich has trailed by as many as 8, and they've cut that in half right now. McKee serves, goes to Giles in the middle. They set up for Bartley on the near side. It's blocked by Annie Peart, and they poke it across, and a couple Rebels dive for it, but ultimately it's played out of bounds for a Cowboy point. 23-18. Rebels will most likely be looking at playing a 4th set. They do lead 2-0, though, so they got that cushion. Service goes deep to Smith for Rich. Cornelius sets up for Lamborn, hits into a block. They dig it out, though. And now Cornelius setting once again. Peart poking it across. Cloward hits it into the sky, and it's poked right back out to the Rebel end. A whistle is blown, and I believe Cloward, when she hit that, her foot was out of bounds. So it's a point for the Rebels. 23-19. They trail 4 here on the Station on Main scoreboard. Lamborn serves to Bartley. And Bartley, a little dump set over, trickles over the net. And it's McKee setting it up for Stacy. It's dug up a couple times, but ultimately hits the floor for a Rebel point. 23-20, Rebels down 3 here late in the third set. Always brought to you by the Rich County government. Brittany Lamborn will serve now. Lamborn serves down the middle to Bartley. She plays it near the net, sets up, and it's dug up there by McKee for Rich. Cornea setting it over to Stacy, who powers it to the back line. Here come the Cowboys. They poke it over. McKee can handle it, though, and they pass it to Stacy. Hits hard, but too hard, out of play. A point for Grantsville, and they are 1 point away from winning the third set. They lead 24-20. We've seen Rich have some miraculous comebacks, most notably early in the season against Bear Lake. What an exciting match that was. But Maddie Martin, now a senior, is going to serve for Grantsville. Her serve goes to Stacy. She passes to Cornea, who passes it right back to her. Hits hard, too hard, out of play. Point for the Cowboys. They win the set. 25-20 Grantsville in the third set to keep it alive. After Rich won the first 2 sets, the Cowboys respond with a 5-point win in the third set. We'll have set number 4 for you coming on right after this. You're listening to Rebel Radio on 98.3 FM K80Q and live stream at mylocalradio.com.
Success is no accident. It comes from constant hard work, perseverance, sacrifice, and learning from failure. Laketown Mayor Burdette Weston and council members Dallas Clark, Chris Hodges, Gary Ogilvie, and Delora White encourage the Rich High Rebels to continue to do whatever it takes to succeed in academics, activities, and athletics. The town council and citizens of Laketown celebrate the success of all the students and staff in the Rich School District.
Whether you need a big bite to eat, a tasty snack, or a sweet treat, the Crawford Trough in Randolph has it all to satisfy your cravings. From tasty burgers and wraps, patty melts and perfect pitas to fresh salads, home-cut fries, crispy onion rings, and of course, that silky smooth ice cream. The Crawford Trough can feed your hunger and then some. And if you haven't tried one of the Trough's mixed sodas, your taste buds don't know what they're missing. Stop in today at the place to eat and drink, the Crawford Trough at 120 South Main, Randolph.
If the idea of owning your own home in beautiful Bear Lake sounds like more than your finances can handle, visit the experts at Bear Lake Realty to learn how you can make it happen. Gary and Amber McKee at Bear Lake Realty can show you how to buy a home and rent it out, so it pays for itself while you enjoy it some of the time as well. And soon, you'll have your own place in the Caribbean of the Rockies. No one knows the market better, and no one else serves you better than Bear Lake Realty.
Welcome back to Richfield, Utah, where the state preview tournament is being held. The Rebels up 2-1 over the Grantsville Cowboys. We'll update our Station on Main scoreboard. And Rich won the first match of the afternoon, taking down Panguitch 3-1. And they look to close out the Cowboys here in set number 4. Rich won the first set 25-23. They won the second set 25-22, but they dropped the third set 25-20. Rich has kind of done it all today. They've come from behind, they've blown leads, they've gone back and forth in really narrow score margins, so they've been in every position you could be in a volleyball match. As the crowds here are getting pretty animated over some other games in the surrounding area. There's 4 matches going on at once. Total of 16 teams here at the state preview tournament. And we're getting ready to restart the Rebels match here against the Grantsville Cowboys. Rich leads 2-1 as we move into the 4th set. And we await Grantsville to serve to restart the match. It's going to be Maddie Martin, a senior. Grantsville has scored the first point in all 3 sets so far today. She bounces the ball a couple times, and we're about ready to start the action here. Martin with a run jump serve. A low serve goes to Stacy. It's immediately played across, but unfortunately for Grantsville, they hit it on their own end. It's a Rebel point, and Rich scores the first point of the fourth set here after our Town & Country Realty beginning serve. Brittany Lamborn returns a point over after she has a service error out of play. 1-1 our station on main scoreboard now. Service from Grantsville goes over the Rebel end, and Rich unable to return it. So they now trail 2-1. If you're watching at My Local Radio, you see some blue-colored area. That's in between the two respective 10-foot lines. That's true for every court here, as Cornea sets after the serve. And now it's Bartley hitting hard into a block built by Annie Peart. So 2-2 our score on the station on main scoreboard. Annie Peart, after getting the Epic Recreation block, is ready to serve. Peart serves cross court to Giles, poorly handled. A Crawford Trough service ace for Annie Peart, who continues to have a fantastic afternoon. Here's Peart to serve again. Peart serves cross court to Bartley. Another poorly handled serve, but this time they can get it over but out of play. And the Rebels double up their lead. It's 4-2 Rich on the station on main scoreboard here in the fourth set. Rich won the first two sets and dropped the third. Peart serves into the net for a Cowboy point. 4-3 Rebels. And now to serve is Broadhead. Here's Kylie Broadhead, a junior. Her serve down the middle goes to Tingy. Cornea setting. Huffaker smashing into a block dug up by Peart. Will try again. Cornea sets for Stacy. This time she gets the kill. The Bear Lake Realty kill was waiting for you. It's now 5-3. Service by Cornea. Two Cowboys collide for it, and ultimately they get it across as Huffaker gets a paw to it and deflects out of play for a Grantsville point. 5-4. Grantsville. That 10-foot line, that blue area indicating how many people can be in there during the service period. And it's served too deep there by Hillary Cloward, so the Rebels boost their lead back to 2. It's 6-4. Here's the serve from McKenna Stacy, a strong one, but too low, goes into the net. 6-5 our station on main scoreboard reads. Hale Bartley ready to serve. Down by 1, trailing 2-1. Bartley serves, trickles over the net. Stacy gets down on her knees. Cornea setting now for Lamborn. Hits into a partially tipped block, and now it is pushed to the Rebel end. Cornea sets, and it's Annie Peart using a parachute method, or Brittany Lamborn, I should say. And the Rebels pick up the point. It's now 7-5, Rich over the Cowboys. If they win this set, they'll improve to 2-0 today in the front half of their pool play schedule. Smith, soft serve, gets over to Bartley, has it set up for her. She runs into an Epic Recreation block, and it's a point for the Rebels. What a block by Sage Tingy and Annie Peart to give the Rebels the point. 8-5 Rich. They lead by 3 here in set number 4. Service by Smith goes to Giles. She hits it near the referee on the stand, and it's played right back to where she was standing, and unprepared for that one as the Rebels pick up an easy point. It's 9-5 Rich, leading by 4. Smith continuing to serve, goes deep down the middle. Bartley sets up for her sister, but she hits too deep. It's a point for the Rebels. 10-5 Rich, up by 5. Here's Mackenzie Smith on a roll right now. Smith serves to the middle, dug up, and it's played over to Ware, who hits too deep once again. And the Rebel lead is now up to 6. It's 11-5. A timeout is called by Grantsville. We'll take a timeout of our own. Always brought to you by T7 Propane. When we return, it's a 6-point lead for the Rebels on the Station on Main scoreboard here in set number 4.
We know that when you think of Plains Tire in Evanston, you always think
The Tire Professionals.
Quality customer service. They're friendly with great prices.
I really like Plains Tire in Evanston.
But did you also know that the team at Plains Tire offers oil changes, windshield wiper checks, and free alignment checks? That's right, free alignment checks. We don't want you to quit thinking all those great things when you hear Plains Tire. We just want you to add to the list. Plains Tire, the tire professionals. Stop in today, 157 Bear River Drive.
Welcome back to Richfield, Utah. Rebels and Cowboys going at it in set number 4. Rich leads 2-1 over Grantsville. And they have a comfortable 6-point lead right now, but we've seen leads by the Rebels evaporate all season long at times, so they can't get too comfortable right now as Smith serves down the middle, dug up there by Broadhead, and Bartlett hits into a wall. She digs it up herself, and the Cowboys try again. They go deep down the middle to Stacy. Cornea setting, Peart slashing right into the face of Cloward, and somehow it makes its way to the Rebel end on the floor for a point. I'm sure that's not how Grantsville thought they could muster up a point, but they'll take it. They trail by 5. 11-6 on the Station on Main scoreboard. Here's the serve into the netting there by Emily Ware for a Rebel point. The lead's back to 6 for Rich. It's 12-6. 12-6 Rebels. Service by McKee goes down the line. A block by Peart. The Rebels scramble to get to it. They knock it across, and now here come the Cowboys marching in attack. Bartley hits deep, and a diving effort by Annie Peart is no good. It's a point for the Cowboys, back within 5. 12-7 here in set number 4. Rebels lead 2-1. Maddie Martin will now serve for the Cowboys. Martin serves, goes to McKee. She gets down to her knees. Cornea sets, and it's Peart hitting into a block for Grantsville, and that takes the point to them. 12-8. 4-point margin here on the Station on Main scoreboard. Martin to serve once again. Martin serves to McKee. She has a comprehensive family dental dig, and then it's punched across by Annie Peart. Bartlett hits into a block, and it's going to be a point for Grantsville as it hits the Rebel end of the floor. 12-9 now. Rebels up 3. Leading 2-1. Martin with another serve. This time goes to Stacy. Cornea sets. Lamborn swings hard. Partially tipped. Couple Cowboys collide, and now Bartlett hits it over. Set up in the air by McKee. Cornea passes, and it's hit hard by Lamborn. We have a rally going. It's Boardhead hitting to the far end and out of play for a Rebel point. 13-9, Rich. Their lead's back to 4. A close one, though, now. As it's going to be Brittany Lamborn getting ready to serve for Rich. Her serve somehow gets over the net. A bit of luck from the volleyball gods. And it's a service ace for Lamborn. 14-9 Rich, back to 5. Lamborn, a much stronger serve, goes to Bartlett. Passed up by Broadhead. They get it across. Now Cornea for Rich, setting up Stacy. Hits hard into a partially tipped block. And another block by the Rebels as the Cowboys struggle to get it off their end of the court. They hit it into the net for a Rebel point. It's now 15-9. Rebels over the Cowboys, leading 2-1. They're 10 points away from improving 2-0 today. Lamborn serves to Bartlett. And a misplay there by Cloward gives the Rebels their 16th point. It's 16-9, and a timeout is called. You felt it coming from Grantsville. We'll take another timeout of our own. Rebels lead 16-9 here in set number 4 over the Grantsville Cowboys.
This presentation of Rich High School Athletics is also brought to you in part by Freeway Tire. With a friendly and knowledgeable staff, quick and dependable service, and great prices come together. Call Freeway Tire at 307-789-8632. And by Hoover Chiropractic. Dr. Todd Hoover does all of the chiropractic work you need, as well as blood work, dietary supplements, a weight loss program, x-rays, and can help you get rid of migraines and allergies. Call Hoover Chiropractic at 307-789-0043.
Rebels lead 16-9 on the Station on Main scoreboard. They're up 2-1 over the Grantsville Cowboys. Here in our second game of the tournament as Lamborn serves to Giles. And a misplay there by Martin gives the Rebels their 17th point. We hope you can join us tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. for the first game of 3 against the North Sevier Wolves to start. Lamborn serves, though, and it's a service ace, and the Rebels are rolling 18-9 after a Crawford Trough service ace from Brittany Lamborn. But yes, 8 a.m. tomorrow for game number 1, game number 2 at 11 a.m., and then to be determined for game number 3. Lamborn serves, and Grantsville is just forgetting how to use their arms right now. It's another service ace for Lamborn. 19-9, this Rebel leads up to 10 here in the fourth set. Lamborn, another strong serve. Bartlett this time can handle it. And Cowboys push it to the Rebel end. Cornea sets. Peart with a dump set over. Finds a hole in the defense. A diving effort is no good by a Cowboy. It's 20-9 Rebels. They're 5 points away from winning 3-1 and improving to 2-0 this afternoon. Lamborn serves. Goes to Bartlett. Knocked in the air by Clower. They hit across, and this time it's misplayed and out of play by Brittany Lamborn to bring Grantsville within 10, 20-10. It was closer earlier. At one point it was 12-9, but the Rebels have gone on an 8-1 run. Here's Molly Bartlett serving. Goes to McKee, and a hard hit there by Peart, but it goes into a block for a Grantsville point. They're back within single digits now. It's 20-11 Rebels on the Station on Main scoreboard. Serve by Bartlett, handled by Smith, sets up for Stacy, and another kill for McKenna Stacy. 21-11, Rebels 4 points away. Dixie Huffaker checking in for Mackenzie Smith as Annie Peart gets set to serve. Peart serves, and it goes into the net. A bit of a low serve from Annie. 21-12 Rebels. Here's Kylie Broadhead, a junior for Grantsville. Her serve goes down the line, received by Lamborn, immediately returned to the Grantsville end, and then the Rebels hit it out of play. It's now 21-13, Rich up by 8. They won the first 2 sets, dropped the third, and look to close it out here in the fourth. They're 4 points away from doing so. Service by the Cowboys goes down the line. Better reception here by Lamborn. Cornea passes to Huffaker, who knocks it across. Goes to Broadhead. Cloward sets up for Bartlett. Hits into a partial wall, and the Rebels dive around to get to it, but are unable to. So a point for Grantsville. They're slowly creeping their way back in this one. It's 21-14. They're down by 7. They trail by as many as 10 or 11. Broadhead hits into the net. The Rebels take the point, 22-14. They're 3 points away from going 2-0 and going to dinner. As Cornea serves, goes to Bartlett, played near the net, and then it's slapped across the Rebel end, and Rich had a hole in the defense that was exposed. A point for Grantsville, 22-15, Rebels up. Back to serve now is Hillary Cloward. Cloward with a good serve down the middle, goes to Lamborn. She immediately returns it, dug up by Cornea, and then it was just teed up there for the Cowboys. They pick up an easy kill, 22-16. Rebels on top as Cloward takes on her second serve. Goes down the middle to Peart. Cornea sets up here for Stacy. She gets into a wall, and it's somehow miraculously hit over by Lamborn. I don't know if she even knew what happened. And Cornea sets up for Huffaker, and Dixie Huffaker able to balloon that one over. And I'll tell you what, that Brittany Lamborn reaction response may be our McKay Franken precision play of the game, as it set up Huffaker to get the point. The Rebels now 2 points away, 23-16. Service from Stacy. Goes over, a dig by the Rebels, but it's no good. It's a point here for Grantsville. 23-17. No, scratch that. It's a point for the Rebels. I believe there's a double hit on the Cowboys. So this is set point now. 24-16 Rich in set number 4. Service, and it's a service ace for McKenna Stacy. What a way to end set number 4. Rebels win 25-16. They go 3-1 against the Cowboys. They go 6-2 today, 2-0, and they'll go in tomorrow undefeated after taking down the Penguins Bobcats and the Grantsville Cowboys. What a series here for the Rebels at the state preview tournament. Rebels go up 3-1 to close it out. We got our Mound Valley Cattle Company post-game show coming on, so don't go anywhere, Rebel fans. You'll want to get the highlights, the freaky fast Jimmy John's recap, and more. So keep it right here at Rebel Radio 98.3 FM and mylocalradio.com. Rebels win 3-1.
Success doesn't come by accident. Success requires hard work, perseverance, learning, sacrifice, and believing in yourself. Eddie and Todd Jensen established the Mound Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho on these very principles. The students, staff, athletes, and coaches at Rich High School value these same fundamentals in education and activities, in athletics, and in life. Good luck, Rebels, from Mound Valley Cattle Company, serving customers in Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming since 1997. If you're a person who enjoys comfort, affordability, and history, make sure you stay at the Best Western Dunmar Inn the next time you're in Evanston, Wyoming. In 1957, retired FBI agent Jack Dub Mills purchased the 17-unit motel referred to as the Oasis of the West that was frequented by stars like Dolly Parton and Tanya Tucker. Today, when you stay at the Best Western Dunmar Inn, you'll enjoy the history while you relax in one of the 165 ground-level rooms on 10 beautiful acres. Best Western Dunmar Inn. Reserve your rooms today, 307-789-3770.
Rebels win 3-1 over the Grantsville Cowboys. We're now in our Mound Valley Cattle Company post-game show. Thanks to Eddie and Todd Jensen out of Thatcher, Idaho. Let's get our Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap in now. We're Fresh and Fast meat, gourmet sandwiches, fresh and fast every day. Go visit them at 113 Front Street, Evanston. So the Rebels won that first set 25-23. They led by a good portion at one point. It got all the way up to 18-9. Grantsville would cut into it, though. However, the Rebels held on to win. Fast forward to the second set. Similar story, back and forth, a lot of tied scores. No team ever led by more than 2 points. And then down the stretch, the Rebels kind of pulled away with it a little bit. And I say that because they were led by 4, and that was the largest margin we saw any team lead by in the second set. They'd win that second set 25-22. Then in the third set, different story. Grantsville had a little bit of hunger in them, and they would coast on. They had a big lead. They led by as many as 8, and they held on to win 25-20. Finally, in the fourth set, the Rebels closed the coffin on the Cowboys. They really zoomed ahead, and they won 25-16. They led by as many as 11, 20-9. And that will do it there for our Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap. Rebels go 2-0 on the afternoon. They'll go tomorrow morning looking to pick up a top half-seeded RPI ranking, as they will play then at 4:30 instead of 3 o'clock. Of course, they're eyeing that number 1 spot, but then again, what team isn't here? That's our Mound Valley Cattle Company post-game show portion with our Jimmy John's Freaky Fast recap. We'll step aside for another quick break. Then when we return, we'll have our post-game highlights brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Count on us to care. So don't go anywhere, Rebel fans. You're listening to Rebel Radio 98.3 FM and on mylocalradio.com. Rebels take down the Grantsville Cowboys 3-1.
When it comes to farming and ranching, it makes good sense to work with a lender who understands finance and agriculture. Western Ag Credit is an independent cooperative owned by the farmers and ranchers who borrow from it. With competitive rates, your loan is tailored to match your business needs. Real estate, livestock, equipment, and operating expenses. When it comes to farming and ranching financing, Western Ag Credit in Evanston is your partner in agriculture. Success doesn't come by accident. Success requires hard work, perseverance, learning, sacrifice, and believing in yourself. Eddie and Todd Jensen established the Mound Valley Cattle Company in Thatcher, Idaho on these very principles. The students, staff, athletes, and coaches at Rich High School value these same fundamentals in education and activities, in athletics, and in life. Good luck, Rebels, from Mound Valley Cattle Company, serving customers in Utah, Idaho, and Wyoming since 1997.
Welcome back here to Richfield, Utah. Rebels take down the Grantsville Cowboys 3-1, and earlier they defeated rivals Panguitch 3-1 as well. Our post-game highlights brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Let's start things off with the final point of the match. McKenna Stacy with a service ace to put the nail in the coffin. A beautiful serve, sort of split the defense right down the middle. Hard spot for anyone to get to, and that's one of the leading candidates. Also, Dixie Hufferker earlier on had a great kill that did not require much power. Who said you need strength? She was able to just loft it over the defense, the wall they built, and plop it right down into a big hole in the defense. Other highlights from today, we saw Brittany Lamborn have some great serves earlier on, and she's something that's a reliable aspect of her game. So Lamborn picked up some nice aces, 3 in a row to really put them in that cruise control, comfortable range. And now is our Bear Lake Memorial Hospital highlights. We had some great highlights earlier from Panguitch, so be sure to go back and watch either game. You can at mylocalradio.com. And now let's get into our Western Ag Roundup calendar. So you see there on the screen, if you're watching at My Local Radio, Friday, October 9th, that wraps up today for the tournament. And Rich Middle School Volleyball had a match this morning against Cokeville. As for tomorrow, volleyball against Richfield, another doubleheader, actually a triple header. So let me break down tomorrow for you. 8 a.m. start against North Sevier. And then 11 a.m. game 4 against Enterprise. And depending on how those games go, the Rebels will either play at 4:30 or 3 o'clock. If they're one of the top 8 teams, they'll play at the latter time. If they're one of the bottom 8 teams, they will play at 3 p.m. Now, given that they got off to a 2-0 start, I would lean towards the 4:30 time slot, but I don't want to jinx it. So that's going on tomorrow. We'll have both those games for you here at mylocalradio.com and on 98.3 FM K80Q. As for later on in the week, Tuesday, Rich High School Cross Country is at Manila for a 10:30 a.m. meet and parent-teacher conferences. So hopefully you kids behaved this week in school. I always remember getting wonderful reviews, slight sarcasm there during my parent-teacher conferences. So that's our Western Ag Roundup calendar. Your partner in agriculture, a lender who understands finance and agriculture. You can go visit them at 848 Front Street in Evanston. If you don't want to drive there, don't worry. They've got this thing called a telephone you can call. It's 307-789-9420. Well, folks, for my producer, Alyssa McDaniels, my ghost cameraman, I'm Matthew Peterson signing off. The Rebels take down the Grantsville Cowboys 3-1 to improve to 2-0 on the afternoon before going into the second half of the tournament tomorrow. We will see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Until then, go Rebels.
You've been tuned in to Rich High School Rebel Volleyball on Rebel Radio KADQ FM 98.3 with video online at mylocalradio.com. Today's match has been brought to you by these Rebel supporting businesses and individuals: Evanston Regional Hospital, Hoover Chiropractic, Cash Honda Yamaha in Cache Valley, the Come On Inn in Casper, Plains Tire, the Best Western Dunmar Inn and Legal Tender, Freeway Tire, Auto Farm Chevrolet, Bear Lake Convention and Visitors Bureau. The proceeding has been a wholly owned production of Old West Media, no portion of which may be used or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the aforementioned rights holder.